We've got some more leagues coming up soon, haven't we? Obviously, after the end of these, or let's cover the full grid first of all. So
Absolutely.
front row, you've got Nick Bell and Gavin Petty, followed by Lee Aberdeen, who's joined by newcomer Jonathan Hitchin on the second row. The third row, fifth and sixth, is James Cockram and Andrew Mckendree, and another one of our newcomers. Will Mason and Jerome Lamy are on row 4. Carl Cranswick and Duncan Roberts on 9th and 10th on row 5. Matt Lauscher, current championship leader, down in 11th place there on row 6 of the grid, joined by Josh Wilson for company. Just wait for the grid to tick over. So I'll carry on. There we go. So we've got Stuart Milne and Kieran Fishlock, then Chris Rowlands and Edmund Webb in 15th and 16th. John Dobson and Joe Turner McCullen, who Joe had a great battle last time out at Watkins in 17th and 18th. Ben Cullen and Chris Foskett in 19th and 20th. Chris Hitchin, another one of our newcomers, is joined by Patrick Bennett in 21st and 22nd. And to round out the grid, we've got James Billington, one of our newcomers, and Clyde Davis.
Thanks for that, Tim. So as we wait for the guys to get gridded up now, we are just waiting in anticipation to see who can bring the moves tonight and who can bring those grid positions that reward with the top points prizes. Nick Bell looking strong on the top spot, but Gavin Petty close behind him in second will absolutely be a contender for the top position. These guys out on the track. So hopefully tonight we'll be able to get some real action, Tim, as we see now the lights getting ready to go. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights, and away these guys go. They are off now at the start of this race. Fantastic start here from all the guys. It looks to me like Gavin Petty has possibly gotten the better start there, and Gavin Petty's managed to get ahead of Bell, and then we've got Jonathan Hitchin also getting in the mix there. Hitchin managing to currently be in second place, but he's trading places with Bell at the moment. This is fantastic here. Tim, I might just have to hand over to you for a minute if you've got the view of this.
Yeah, I have, Nick. So we're currently just... Oh, it's a skip right over there. So we're looking at Jerome Lamy here. He's coming around and he's not had the best of starts. Well, he's at one place, Jerome, but just coming a little bit sluggish out of Mercedes Arena there. And great start from Jonathan Hitchin, picking up one place. And I know he's a driver definitely we've seen in the GT3s. He likes to get his elbows out, and one of the stronger drivers, as he's now challenging Nick Bell for third place. But seems like everyone's pretty much got away cleanly, Nick. As we just look at James Cockram here, now he's going to be disappointed to be down one place. He's got Jerome Lamy for company behind him, and then Matt Laubser, who's had a brilliant start, already up to 8th place. Him and Jerome be looking to cut through the field here, Nick. And we've got... So Cockram, just look, he's under attack here.
On the inside, that's fantastic work. That was great manoeuvres there. Brilliant. That's James Cockram coming up the Jerome Lamy looking incredibly fighty already in this race. So fantastic work there from Jerome. Let's see how high he can get himself up the order on these laps where the cars are a bit colder. As we look here now and we see another move here. Is that Josh Wilson that I see trying to go around as well? No, sorry, we're with Cockram still here, aren't we? That's Laubser now under threat.
We've got a spinner in the background. That's Duncan Roberts spinning out there, Nick, as he exited Vidal, just obviously getting the car a bit unsettled, and such a disappointment from him. Hopefully we try and get a replay for that and come back to that and see exactly how that unfolded, Nick, as the cars now head down to Castrol S.
Now, looking at the front battle here with Jonathan Hitchin, he's chasing hard behind Nick Bell, and behind him Lee Aberdeen. So the front three runners here absolutely nose to tail and really looking to give us a hell of a show here tonight for this first portion of the race. Now, we said that this is more technical, and you can see here some gaps starting to form up from between the front tires. We've got three cars off there.
That's all the leaders got, Nick.
Oh, God, that's all three. It looks like it might actually be that Will Mason might have just gotten... Is that Nick Bell? Nick Bell's managed to keep it on the track there, so he hasn't lost as many places, but that is really unfortunate. We now go to Andrew Mckendree, who's going to take P1 on his debut in the Formula 3 races, but he's got Will Mason for fighting here to fight here. And then look behind, the guy that we were really looking for, Jerome Lamy, now up to third position with Matt Laubser behind him. Now that initial qualifying,
not up there, Nick, and he's
absolutely not. Look at this.
He's not giving up that second place in these Yeah, as much as Jerome Lamely, look at how close he is there, Nick, and he moves out of the draft. However, Mckendree's going to have the inside line here, Nick, but his exit's going to be compromised where Lamey's going to have the better run, and he's got the move done round the outside, Nick.
Jerome Lamey just slipping it up there, no problems at all. It actually looked to me like Mckendree gave him plenty of room, and that was a very nice clean move. Now Jerome Lamey up 6 places now, I believe. As we look here, Andrew Mckendree going down the inside saying, I have that place back. This isn't going to be easy for you, Mr. Lamey. You're going to have to fight me for this. And look behind, Matt Laub's having a look now on the inside as he follows Jerome around into this final bend onto the pit straight. Look at absolutely hungry for the move here as we go on board with Lamey. He is absolutely side by side here with Mckendree. He's now ahead. How is he going to manage this into the first corner? He's going to keep it nice and tidy on the inside. Look at this races side by side. Great stuff from our seasoned veteran of the league here and our newcomer. And then Matt Loops are really looking behind there to try and capitalise on this fight, and it looks like he's the next one that Mckendree is going to have to fight off. Look at this. Loops are really looking to get past because he knows that the points he needs from these high grid places are what are going to keep him in contention for the win of the championship, Tim.
It is, Nick. I mean, obviously that earlier incident has just gifted such a bundle of points to Matt Laubser and made his efforts even more easy. He had got a brilliant start. He'd already made his way up from 11th on the grid to 8th place in the race, but obviously with our 3 front runners coming together, which I'm hoping we'll get a replay of how that unfolded soon, and so unlucky there, Nick. So unlucky. But Will Mason there, he's already pulled out a 2-second gap ahead of Jerome Lamey and Andrew Mckendree. Those two were very close together. I mean, last time around, Nick, Will Mason set the fastest lap of the race so far. He was over a second quicker than the next closest driver, which was Jerome Lamey. It was around about 1.2 seconds between them. And be interesting to see. Let's see how Matt Laubser, he's only 3 tenths behind Mckendree. See if he can try and capitalise this, and they now head down towards Vidal.
He is on an absolute charge, isn't he, Laubser? He's really looking to get around, and we're going to go to Gavin Petty here. So Gavin Petty looking to try and pull a move here on Edmund Webb. Gavin's going to be trying to get some of those places back now after that unfortunate incident early on in the race. So we're going to get the replay up now, hopefully, for the spin from Nick Bell that caused that incident earlier on. So hopefully you'll be able to see that on your screens in a moment. Should be right there now. As we just stay on board also with Andrew Mckendree. We're still just following that battle around at the moment as Matt Lopes has actually managed to get around him now into P3, so that's fantastic work from Matt, who's now secured himself a position on the podium. So now it's a case of, can Matt chase down Jerome? But further to that point, I guess, really is, can Jerome chase down Will Mason, who has comfortably been leading this race since pretty much its inception, since those guys went off. So,
well, Nick, I think you were right in your original word in there. It is a Grand Prix, obviously. Grand Prix being French for large prize, and the large prize is to be crowned Season 1 champion of the iRacing UK F3 League. As we just currently look at Stuart Milne here, he's right on the tail of Carl Cranswick, and also just ahead of him is Nick Bell and Josh Wilson in 6th place. Josh in the blue and yellow car there, Nick in the purple and black, Carl in the yellow, Goldie and black car, and then obviously Stuart Milne, as we mentioned, in that blue and black car at the tail of this train of 4. Black is incredibly popular with the F3 cars, it seems to be, Nick. They all seem to be featuring black pretty much up and down the grid.
So we're going to see now Nick Bell looking like he's really pushing quite hard to get round here behind Josh Wilson. Nick Bell obviously going to be looking to make up those places. Check out Josh Wilson's defence here, though. He's really trying to hold Nick Bell back, but I don't think it's going to stick because Nick has been incredibly quick here in all the sessions that we've seen so far, as Wilson now moving to the inside looking for a defensive manoeuvre on Nick Bell. But who's going to be braver here into turn 1? That's very, very defensive there. And Nick Bell having to stay wide, using a bit more of the track than perhaps he'd like to there. But it doesn't look to have compromised his exit here as he gets it round possibly. No, Wilson just managing to hang on. And then Nick Bell, now with the inside line, has got the move done. And he appears to have a lot of pace there. But Carl Cranswick looking for a piece now, and he's going to be coming up fast behind Josh Wilson. Let's go to Carl Cranswick if we can, because it looks like he's the next person we need to watch out for, making an overtake manoeuvre on Josh Wilson, as it looks like he's actually just backed off a little bit. And we're now just going to stay here with Nick Bell as he's going to hopefully start to cruise away from Wilson behind him.
Nick, we talked about it earlier before the race, obviously the exit out of Mercedes Arena, so having to compromise your exit out of turn 3 to get the drive out of turn 4, and Wilson found himself offline there and having to take all the wrong lines, and was incredibly lucky and great driving from Wilson to prevent being overtaken by Cranswick. As we just cut to Jerome Laney now, who's got Matt Lauser behind him for company. Lauser, the fastest man on track, the first person to break into the 1 minute 50s last time of round, 1 minute 50.36, and oh, Nick, this is incredibly close.
He's got it at the inside. He's done it under braking mode. Looks like Jerome has just let that place go for a minute. We're not, not wanting to risk our race this early on, Matt. Let's just play nicely. Maybe we can drag each other around a little bit here and make our way back up to Will Mason, who obviously leads this pack at the moment, and he's not far away. Only, I think it's 1.7 ahead at the moment. Yeah. So there is really not a lot in it. And we're going to go now over to Kieran Fishlock, because it looks like we've got a battle heating up here between Fishlock, Rowlands and Webb. So Webb leading these three, I believe, at the moment.
Fishlock's gone to the inside of Webb there. Webb in that old school Williams inspired livery, and he's got the move done there. Kieran Fishlock up the inside for 11th place.
Fantastic work from Fishlock there.
Webb's fighting back here, Nick. Yeah. He's not giving up the place. He's saying, no, you're not having that so easy. And Webb's gone darty to the inside. And
he spun it. He's lost it.
Got a bit too excitable and just pushed the car a bit beyond its limits and overcooked it into the corner, and that's going to cost him dearly. He's all the way down. He's all the way down in 17th place, Nick. So from 11th place on track down to 17th. That's be frustrated by that.
Well, he put up a strong defence there, and unfortunately, just pushing that bit too hard didn't pay off in the end. So we are currently riding with Stuart Milne. So Stuart Milne under chase from Gavin Petty. Gavin looking to climb back up the order a little bit after obviously losing a few places from that incident at the start. And Stuart Milne really under attack here as Gavin moves to the inside and tucks it up very nicely, takes that place, and he'll continue his war campaign back to the front of the pack. Now Wilson under threat from Cranswick. We've already seen Nick Bell get past him, and then Carl's been following him for a couple of laps now, just looking for his opportunity as he darts around, giving Wilson something to think about here. And fantastic work. We've always seen Carl kind of carving his way strategically up the pack in a lot of these races, and he's looking to the inside of Wilson now, but not really going to be able to do it as he loses a lot of speed there. And now he's got, I believe, Gavin Petty right on his tail. And now Gavin Petty, as we know, has already been taking places like candy from a baby. So let's see if he can pull a similar manoeuvre on Carl here as Carl goes to the inside to defend, and he knows that Wilson's going to be in the way for both of these guys. He's spun it, and that's going to be damage for Carl as well, the front wing of Carl. Wilson.
Josh Wilson. And I think
nearly picking up Nick Bell there, I think was that maybe. But he's
Carl Cranswick did well not to connect with him too majorly. It'd be interesting to see what damage Carl Cranswick's managed to pick up there from that contact. And we've got Gavin Petty now. The gap is even closer, Nick. It's under a tenth, and I think there's going to be a move to be made. And they're trading places somewhere off camera. Here they are.
Now we're
just see them in the background. Sorry.
Yeah, they can see those guys. There we go. They're still having that side-by-side battle now. Look at that, Carl Cranswick. I don't know how much damage he picked up in that little incident. The car doesn't look too bad from this angle, but Gavin Petty really giving it to him here, really putting the pressure on. And it's going to be a question of will Stuart Milne... Look, Stuart Milne's going to try and have a go as well here as Gavin Petty goes to the outside of Carl. And now Carl on the inside line. Who's going to come out better on this set of corners, because this is going to be a case of who can compromise the speed as they come through. And Stuart Milne, look at how close he is behind, trying to take advantage of this, and that's incredibly wide from Petty, but he's kept it in close still behind Carl, who appears to have managed to dart away from danger for the moment. And now Stuart Milne still sitting there thinking, I want a piece of the action, and he's the one that's going to be giving a bit of a fight possibly to Petty now.
It's going to be tricky for him though. Obviously, Petty being dragged along by the slipstream of Carl Cranswick in that gold and black car ahead, number 57, and Petty getting very bouncy as he came through Vidal there, and then it's all about just making sure you get the brilliant and the best exit off this last corner onto the pit straight as the drivers now head down through Castrol S turn 1. And the gap is closing between Petty and Cranswick.
He's going to move to the inside or the outside?
I don't think Cranswick has gone slightly defensive there, and Petty not quite close enough to be able to move done. Surprising there. Cranswick got a great exit, and Wilson's on the fight back here, Nick.
Look at that, Wilson just getting it round Joe Turner, McMillan there, but it looks like Joe's looking to try and keep it in contention here. He's side by side, and then it looks like Wilson's just managed to slip past, no problem at all from Wilson there as he moves up another place, and Carl under threat from Gavin Petty there. And it looks to me like Petty has really put the aggression into that manoeuvre there and got it done, so no problems there. Cranswick's going to have to give that one up as we go now. Look, this is Lubser and Mason at the front of the pack. Lubser has managed to drag himself all the way up to the back of Gavin Petty now, and Lamy trailing behind in third a little bit. He was under threat from Mckendree a little while ago, but we've got Lubser now who's going to put all of the pressure on Mason. Let's see if these guys can keep it clean as they now enter, only a few, 18 laps of this race to go. With the 7 already, we're not at the halfway point. We don't want to see any more Cummings together. And look at that, that's Lubser looking up the outside there. Can he find any space? No, he can't. Mason closing the door and saying, no, you'll have to wait your turn this time, Matt. I've still got a few more laps in the lead here, but I don't think that's going to stick, because look at Lubser. He's hungry for that position, looking on the inside. He wants position, and he'll take it when he's ready. And it looks like we might have a car ahead of these guys, possibly a back marker. That could be Clive Davis or Mark Cadmore, possibly, who's going to be lapped. So hopefully they don't get in the way of this fight. And look at that, Lubser on the inside, a late dive into turn 1, and that has paid dividends there as Lubser looking a bit squirmy on the exit. Oh, and he's out of control. Wait, Mason's got it back.
But this is allowing Jerome Lamy. Well, these two are battling, Nick. Jerome Lamy, he is catching, and that gap is tumbling between them. It's down to under a second now, Nick. Well under a second. It's around about 8 tenths. So what was a two-way battle between Mason and Lauser for the first place is now going to have Jerome Lamy joining the fun and make this a nice three-way battle. I think we've had so much action. You wouldn't think there's 17 laps to go. We're not even at half race distance yet.
Will Mason up 6 places, so he's going to want to hold on to this lead because it's definitely well deserved at this point. But look at that loser behind now, having to just kind of reset a little bit, get himself at the right gap and the right for another attack. It was a real shame to see him getting out of shape into that section of the Mercedes arena. I think it was turn 3 where we saw him get out of shape there, and yeah, just having to give Mason that place back. But it was a really brave dive into the Castrol S from Lubser, and it really did pay off for him at that point in time. We did look a little bit squirmy on the exit afterwards, possibly just as a result of the speed he'd taken into there. Further down the pack, we have got Mckendree being closed in on, I think, by Cockram now as well. So that's for P4 and 5. Lamy still closing in on this front 3 battle as well. He's just hanging on to the back of Lubes at a minute, making as much of the slipstream as he can, hoping to, probably try and sneak in and take position from one of these guys in the middle of the next fight that they have. But he's incredibly close, and again, he's now going to get the draft here, which is going to just cut through the air and get him a few more tenths possibly. But Lubser now looking to the inside again, Lubser, and it looks like he's probably gone for another brave move there as we stay with Lamy there. And there's Will Mason on the inside of Lubser, just trying to have another look in, but Lubser's got it done, and he's tidier this time on the exit, and that's fantastic work. He's got position, and now it's down to Lamy to see if he can get past Mason to take that fight to Matt Lubser.
It's that gap now really tumbling now. There's only 6 attempts covering these two. The front two of Lubser and Mason are originally pulled away and got a bit of a gap between them, some fresh air between themselves and Lamy. As Lamy on the attack there, looking very aggressive and racy on Will Mason as they come down into the Dunlop now. And Loops, he's now got himself in a bit of fresh air, Nick. We know he's got form, and he's been looking to make it 4 wins from 4 now, where he's had really dominant performances so far in the championship. So be interesting to see now. He's got a bit of fresh air in front of him. He's got around about half a second clear of Mason, who's being kept occupied by Lamy behind him, and he'll be looking in his mirrors. So let's see how much Lucer can pull away now, Nick, and maybe cement that first place for him.
Yeah, I mean, so Lamy, we said Lamy initially had a great start, and then he appeared to kind of just not slow down. As look, he's coming right to the back of Will Mason here, but he seemed to slow down a little bit and get caught up with Andrew Mckendree. But now he's really back in the fight. I wonder if that car has just warmed up and awoken a little bit, and that's now released the Lamy, so to speak. And here we are now with Stuart Milne, who is behind Carl Cranswick, hoping to put a bit of pressure on him, maybe gain a place. Carl is probably just maybe a little bit weary after that battle with Gavin Petty that he was having, and Stuart Milne looking really close here. He's in position for a move. Which way is he going to go? Is Carl going to try and defend on the inside? No, he's not. It looks like Milne's going to go for the inside line here, and are we going to see the Lubscher late break maneuver here? It looks like we are, as he gets it nicely tucked in on the inside of Carl there, and he's got a good exit as well, so absolutely no problem from Stuart Milne there. He's now going to be chasing Gavin Petty, seeing if he can make up a few more places. Stuart Milne already 5 grid places up today, so fantastic driving from him so far. Just going over to the chat over at Twitch. So Beavers789 says fantastic save by Lubscher, should have spun but he held it together. Absolutely, yeah, it was fantastic to watch, especially from the angle that we got to see it. One thing we do need to give a shout out for is TrackCams22. So TrackCams22.com provide all of these angles that you're able to see on screen this evening. It's a fantastic view that we get of these drivers as they take us round the Nürburgring, so thank you very much to TrackCams22. We're now just sticking with the Carl Cranswick and Stuart Milne battle, as it looks like Stuart now starting to grow that gap from Carl and start to get away a little bit. Lamy is comfortably past Mason by the looks of it on the timing screen, so that is fantastic to see that Lamy now in a position to start chasing Lubscher and fight for that top spot.
I was going to say, look at that though, Nick, from the timing screens. Matt Lubscher last time around, 1 minute 50 dead. Over looking at the best laps from everyone else, the closest anyone's got to him is over half a second. So Matt Lubscher really putting the hammer down now, as he's pulled out over a second lead between himself and second place, currently Jerome Lamy. And he's really looking to utilise that fresh air. There's no one in front of him. There's a back marker slightly in a distance, but he's a good way off now. And I think it's going to be a struggle. Obviously, seeing how Matt's performed in the previous rounds, Nick, he's got form, and I hate to bring Kirsten, the commentator, onto it, but I can't see him not winning now, potentially.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
I know, I've said it. I know. I'm sorry, Matt. I am so sorry if I've just put the curse on you.
Let's watch him now. Let's watch him now into the forward curve. So as he comes down towards the Dunlop hairpin turn 8 here, is the nice U-bend before the Schumacher S's as we come in here. And Jerome Lamy still hanging around behind, still giving a bit of chase here. I don't think this is the end of this, and obviously we've got a pit stop to be had here as well, so there's every chance that things could get chopped up and the order changes during that. Now Cranswick has had a crash, and I believe also one of our new drivers, Billington, possibly Tim, is also involved in that. Hopefully we'll be able to get a
Billington
we'll switch
is in the pits at the moment, Nick, so that would make a bit of sense. Here we go. We've got a replay.
Slow-mo of James Billington here.
He looks like he's lost it by himself. Carl's not involved in that one. So he's just coming across the brow of the hill there, Nick. And nothing. I'm guessing it's on the entry to the corner. Let's just hold out and we'll see how this one plays out, Nick.
We will get that.
Spin it up. There we go. Spin it up right for the key moment. And,
fantastic.
Well, so easily done these cars, Nick. Especially if you've got the brake bar set a little bit too far towards the rear, and there we go.
Cranswick, similar
that's the
error.
Cranswick spin, yeah.
Just the back end getting away from him. Yeah, Carl's one of our F3 specialists. He's been racing these for quite some time. And look at this, Gavin Petty on Nick Bell. So this is the race at the front that is not at the front.
It is. And Petty's got the move done there, Nick, and Bell just didn't seem to have too much of an answer for him.
No, Petty just sort of slipped past, didn't he? I wonder if Bell's carrying any more damage still, or if he's having any problems since the incident at the start. But the cars look fine, don't they? Really?
Yeah, I'm having a good look at his car as he drives around, Nick, and I can't see any damage to that Dallara F3 at all.
We're with Matt Lucian now. He's still being tailed by Lamy. So these guys starting to spread out a little bit at the minute. I think when we were talking about this earlier, we imagined we'd see some heavy action at the start, followed by some close battles, and then possibly a bit of a lull. So we're going to be on the run up to the pit stops and in the next few laps. You know, we're with 13 to go. These guys have done about 12, 13 laps on track so far. So they're going to be getting to the point in the race where they're going to be looking at where's the best point to take my pit stop. Do I take it before I get to the back markers? Do I try and dive in early and perform an undercut maneuver? Maybe we see Lamy dive in a lap earlier than Lubscher and put some pressure on him to then go and force him into a pit stop as well. We will see. These guys are really going to have to try and play some mind games with each other. We're going to go over to a replay of Forskett here.
Oh, he just ran it really wide there, Nick, as he managed to keep it up the wall? No. No, he's going to be carrying damage, potentially suspension damage to the way that hit the wall, and he has jumped straight to the pits there, Nick, so that looks like it could be Chris Forsett's race over. Now, there was, during the week, obviously, we had the update. During the week, it was only a couple of days ago now, where the time quite goes, and one of the updates Nick done during the patch was to the F3, where they made some tweaks to the front wing, so it was a little bit more robust. One of the increased the damage even, where a few of the drivers, speaking to them, they were experiencing where they were getting rear-ended, and obviously that was the end of their race because it was destroying their rear wing. But the other car was then sailing off into the distances. We've got Patrick Bennett here and Joe Turn-McCullen just in front of him, but for much longer. Bennett's going to try and get him on the undercut here as they come through to Mercedes Arena now, Nick. And I don't think he's going to get it done this time around, but he's got the exit. He's going to get the better exit because he's just like I mentioned earlier, sacrificing the first of the two corners there. And it'll be good to see how that plays out as we look at Cockram now.
Under pressure from Gavin Petty.
Yeah.
On the inside, is he going to be able to get this? No, he's just having a look. He's just putting a bit of psychological pressure on there. This man charging up the order, Petty. So fantastic work from him after that unfortunate early incident.
Nick, it seems to be everyone we're cutting to seems to have the new fastest lap. Gavin Petty, the first man into the 49, so 149.7. Stunning lap from him. He's really a man on the move, and he's got the move done there, Nick.
Oh,
but now Cockram's under attack from Nick Bell. Nick Bell could look to lose 2 places in as many corners here as he's got Cockram for company. And how's this going to play out? As now the long drag now down to turn 1.
I've got my money on Bell for that fight at the back there. I think Bell will be able to slip up the inside of Cockram because he's going to be chasing after Gavin Petty and trying to claw back a few more of those places. But look at that, that's incredibly aggressive there on the entry from Cockram. Nick Bell's front wing looking like it was under risk there, but let's see how he gets around here. He's a little bit wider than Cockram there on the exit, but as they come around here, it looks like he's picked the better line for a much straighter exit than Cockram. Is he going to be able to get something done in this section of the track? I'm not sure about it at the minute, but this is giving Gavin Petty the chance to sprint ahead. We were just saying about the 49s. I want to say Jerome Lamy has only just done it, but 149.98 he's got for his best lap so far. So not the only one in the 49 club is Gavin Petty at the moment. So a couple of tenths off was Jerome from Gavin's time as we continue to watch Bell really trying to hang on to the back of Cockram here, Tim.
You're not wrong there, Nick. Like you say, Gavin Petty's now got a chance to pull away, and he's definitely been a man on the move. He's really making up for lost ground after that poor start from him. And Nick Bell, I think it's only time before the way he's all over the back of James Cockram there. It's only time before he gets the move done. And now could be a good opportunity to at least really close up the gap. The gap is falling. It's now under 3 tenths. It's coming down to around about 2 tenths. But I think just as they come into Vidal, he's going to be a little bit too far back. But it's not going to stop him from just showing the front end of that car to him. Just reminding, I'm here just trying to distract him by make him look in his mirrors. Hoping that Cockram then misses his braking point or misses his turn-in point. But Cockram has showed a brilliant driving there and saying, no, Nick, you can flash your car around in my mirrors all you want, but it's not going to make any difference. You're not having the place off me.
We can say that these guys have been incredibly clean so far. Apart from that early incident we saw, which, the first lap, these things happen, it's racing. But for the most part, these guys have been really, really great to watch, and it's been very gentlemanly out on track as we continue to watch Nick Bell really trying to put the pressure on here. He's getting right up to the back of James Cockram there. Looking further back in the pack, it looks to me like Fishlock and Roberts, we've possibly got a bit of a fight there. Or I think we've got a spin possibly, but as Nick Bell now got the move done. That was fantastic work. Look at that.
It was almost like Cockram just let him pass there. So he seemed to come round on the inside. Cockram went defensive, but just seemed to almost let him pass and accept the move, and like it was going to happen. It was inevitable, and couldn't do anything about it. So
Bennett has just on the pit exit, I think. Oh, we're going to go to Hitchin now.
Yeah, Chris Hitchin. Let's see what happens here. So he's just coming around the Mercedes arena section, and there we go.
Just too much on the exit.
Yeah, a bit too soon on the power. Too much on the loud pedal, and around he goes, and the position he's in, he's not too bad for being able to rejoin the track there with the way that car's positioned currently.
Yeah, lucky to see no damage.
Duncan Roberts, very similar liveries there, getting a bit excited, and Duncan Roberts, he was in a battle with Fishlock, and I think it was, and he's gone up the inside, and the car's just snapped on him where he's obviously dropped down.
Really lucky,
too many there, Nick, and it caused the rear axle to lock up, and it sends you into a spin, and it's completely uncontrollable.
I think he was lucky to not pick up another car there as well. So
with 9 laps to go, Nick, we've got a little bit of activity in the pits. There's James Cockram, Kieran Fishlock, obviously Duncan Roberts, who we're just currently looking at.
Oh, there's an accident. He's just had an accident in the pits, I think. I think he just binned it in the pits. Look at that.
See, the camera was incredibly still, Nick, and it'd be good to see if we can get that from a different camera and see what happened there.
Let's just see if we can watch this now.
Got Josh Wilson here coming down the straight. It says down to turn 1. Him. There's James Cockram. He's made into his pit box. Okay.
Yeah, he's fine. I think it was Duncan Roberts that I think had an accident go into the pits, or at least it looked like he'd binned it into the pits, but he jumped, I think. So that might be why we saw it that way. But okay, well, we're riding with Wilson at the moment. Wilson all on his own for the most part at the moment. So he's got a 1.5 second gap ahead to Cranswick, and then behind him Edmund Webb. So what will he be able to do on these laps? Is he going to just kind of hang in there and see if he can eke out a few more laps and get it to low fuel before he takes a stop, or are we just going to see him charge through to the end as far as he can and make the most of the time he's got on track? So we're going to have a look over here at Lubscher. Lubscher coming up behind a back marker now. I believe that is the car of Lee Aberdeen. Lee Aberdeen. Normally Lee Aberdeen, one of the stronger guys that we'd seen in previous rounds. So shame to see Lee Aberdeen, one of the lapped cars there at the moment. So Matt Lubscher still pretty strong at the moment. Jerome Lamy, not too much of a problem. Jerome Lamy dropped back quite a bit there. 4 seconds the gap now to Jerome behind him. So
look at the gap between Jerome and Will Mason as well, an additional 4 seconds. Those two and Lauscher were all over the back of each other at one point, and they've both managed to, Lauscher and Lamy have managed to pull out gaps. Obviously, Lauscher managed to extend a bit of his gap when Mason and Lamy were fighting, but Will Mason's really dropped off the back there. But Andrew Mckendree, and debut in the league, currently running in 4th place. Currently, Nick, I was about to say overall, like I'm commentating on the GT3s again, but only one sort of class here. So, but absolute class act from Mckendree. Brilliant opening race, but as this sort of things are quiet, Nick, I think it's probably worth mentioning that obviously after this batch of seasons ends, obviously with the F3, the Skip Barber League, and the GT3 League currently running, we've got Porsche Cup coming to the channel in June. So that'll be really, really interesting to see. That's going to run on a Sunday night. We're currently taking entrance to the league. So if you'd like to join the community, feel free to either drop a note into the Twitch channel, or alternatively head across to any of our social media pages. So best one's probably Facebook, facebook.com/iRacing UK, and you can ask for a link to join the Discord. And like I say, we're taking entrance to the Porsche Cup, but we've also got the Community League as well, Nick.
Yeah, the Community League, so that's a no entry requirement. It's different races, and the winners go through to a Race of Champions, which will be aired live from the channel on the 12th of June is the plan at the moment. So hopefully you'll be able to join us for that. We're looking forward to a great race there on the 12th. Just going back to some of the other leagues you were talking about, you were talking about the GT3 Abbott rookies. We recently had our GT3 league at Monza on Sunday with Lee Green, Colin Wynn and Chris Hitchin. Chris Hitchin, obviously, who you've seen out on the track this evening in the F3s. He was the 3rd place podium sitter in that race. So some great racing we've seen at Monza. The long straights and the hard chicanes really giving us plenty of action. Now we're going to go over to Carl Cranswick now. Carl currently running in P5. So he, I presume, Tim, has taken advantage of the fact that he hasn't pitted yet.
That's right, Nick. So all of our front 5 are the last guys not to take a pit stop yet. Currently got Wilson and Joe Turner McCullen in the pits. So yeah, they're just literally, that's why Carl's managed to climb up a couple of places, but trying to utilise that low fuel and really put in some great in laps and see if where he can come out. I know myself and Carl had a great battle in the Skippy League recently at the last round at Donington, and Carl's got some really, really quick one-lap pace, I know.
Just looking at the order, Jerome Lamy has been in for his pit stop. So of the fast guys at the front of the pack, Jerome the first one to go in. So the pit lane time
We've got Laubster is in the pit now, Nick.
Oh, he's just gone in now, has he? So Laubster pit lane time. Let's see how much better this stop is than Lamy's. Lamy was on a 33-second pit stop, I believe. So let's see if Laubster loses any time here, or whether he's a bit more disciplined in his pit entry and exit procedure as we go on board with Jerome Lamy now. So up 2 places from where he started, currently in 6th, but he will gain a couple back here as we see Will Mason, Andrew Mckendree and Cranswick all diving into the pits as well, and then we see Rowlands go into 2nd now. So obviously Chris, I believe, has not taken his stop either, so Chris will be cruising out there in front, only to lose those places again when he does take that stop. So Jerome Lamy now in 3rd.
I think the interesting point though is, has Chris Rowlands got enough fuel? Obviously he's gone a lap longer than everybody else, unless he's been fuel saving for the whole race. Could we see potentially a bit of drama where Chris Rowlands ends up running around the last few corners, with the cars coughing and choking on the last few drips of fuel? Or has he missed his pit entry potentially, and we could free him for a bit of a drama where Chris Rowlands falls down the grid and he runs out of fuel? I'm sure he's got right about halfway round the lap. He doesn't seem to be losing any major pace at the moment, so that'll be an interesting one to see how that plays out.
Well, the fuel limit in these is 60% for the race, so the pit stop is mandatory. Although fuel saving, I think it'd be a bit brave to try and fuel save around the whole thing.
Yeah,
a bit bold as we currently ride with Andrew Mckendree. So Andrew in 6th position at the moment. The car behind him, Nick Bell, but the car ahead of him, Gavin Petty. So we'll have to see what Mckendree can get up to. I think he's going to be sitting pretty there for the moment. Gavin Petty's